Welcome to the Hollywood Secrets Information. In this video, we are diving into a side of animation that most studios don't want you to remember. The 1970s wasn't just about disco lights and Saturday morning cartoons. It was a decade of bold experiments, controversial themes, shocking violence, political satire, and adult storytelling that pushed animation far beyond kids only. Some of these films were banned in entire countries. Others were censored, heavily edited, or quietly pulled from theaters after public outrage. And believe me, number 11 will completely change the way you look at 1970s animation forever. So buckle up. Because today we're revealing 15 animated movies from the 1970s that got banned, censored, or restricted, and the reasons are far more disturbing than you think. Make sure to watch till the end, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable Hollywood secrets. Now let's begin. 1. Fritz the Cat, 1972. When this film hit theaters, it shocked audiences across America and beyond. Directed by Ralph Bakshi, this X-rated animated movie wasn't made for children. Not even close. It featured explicit adult content, graphic sexuality, drug use, and racial satire that was considered deeply offensive at the time. Several countries banned it outright, and others demanded heavy edits before allowing release. What made it more controversial was that it was based on a comic character many assumed was harmless. Parents were outraged, religious groups protested, and critics were divided. Yet despite bans and backlash, it became one of the most financially successful independent animated films ever made. Its raw political commentary on 1960s counterculture made authorities nervous, and that fear led to its censorship in multiple regions. 2. Coonskin, 1975, also directed by Ralph Bakshi. This film caused immediate protest before it even officially released. The movie used exaggerated racial stereotypes to critique racism in America, but many groups believed it reinforced the very prejudice it claimed to attack. Demonstrations erupted outside theaters, and some major cities pulled it from screens. In certain countries, it was banned completely. Distributors even changed its title in attempts to soften backlash. The controversy wasn't just about race. It was about how far animation could go in confronting uncomfortable social truths. For many viewers in the 1970s, this crossed the line. The ban in several regions only fueled curiosity, turning it into one of the most debated animated films of the decade. 3. The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat, 1974. This sequel shocked audiences even more than the original. While the first film was already controversial, this one doubled down on explicit imagery, political cynicism, and drug hallucination sequences. Some countries that had reluctantly allowed the first movie refused to screen this sequel at all. Authorities labeled it morally corrupt and socially dangerous. Its satirical portrayal of religion, politics, and war made censorship boards extremely uncomfortable. What makes this entry so unbelievable is that it was banned in places that had already tolerated other adult films. But because it was animated, officials feared it could influence youth. The irony? Its absurd, exaggerated tone was meant as criticism, yet it was treated as a threat. That overreaction cemented its place as one of the most controversial cartoons ever made. 4. Heavy Traffic, 1973. This gritty urban animated drama blurred the line between live action and cartoon in ways audiences weren't ready for. Filled with explicit sexuality, violence, and raw depictions of inner-city life, it was quickly restricted or banned in multiple markets. Censors argued that its graphic content crossed legal boundaries for animated works. The film dealt with racism, organized crime, prostitution, and family dysfunction, subjects rarely associated with animation at the time. Some theaters refused to screen it entirely. The backlash wasn't just moral, it was cultural. Many critics questioned whether animation should ever portray such dark realism. The controversy only amplified its cult status, proving that the 1970s were redefining what cartoons could be. 5. The Mouse and His Child, 1977. At first glance, this looked like a gentle family story. But beneath its innocent surface lay surprisingly dark themes of abandonment, identity, and existential struggle. Some broadcasters in certain countries refused to air it due to its bleak tone and psychological intensity. The villainous rat character and unsettling atmosphere were considered too frightening for young viewers. While not universally banned, it faced regional restrictions and censorship cuts. Parents expected a cheerful cartoon. What they got was a haunting journey about survival and self-worth. That unexpected emotional heaviness made authorities question whether it was suitable for children, leading to limited releases in some territories. 6. Fantastic Planet, 1973. This surreal science fiction masterpiece stunned audiences with its strange alien imagery and symbolic storytelling. Though critically praised, it was restricted in certain regions due to its nudity, political allegory, and disturbing visual style. The film portrayed humans as oppressed creatures controlled by giant alien beings, a metaphor many interpreted as commentary on totalitarianism. Some governments considered its message politically sensitive. Its psychedelic animation style, combined with abstract themes, unsettled censorship boards. While it eventually became a cult classic, in the 1970s it faced distribution bans and strict age restrictions because authorities feared its deeper meaning. 7. The Lord of the Rings, 1978. Ralph Bakshi's adaptation of Tolkien's epic faced unexpected bans and restrictions in certain international markets. Some censorship boards objected to its intense battle scenes, dark imagery, and occult themes. Religious groups in specific countries criticized the film's portrayal of magic and demonic creatures. While not universally banned, it faced temporary restrictions and editing demands in conservative regions. The darker tone of this adaptation surprised audiences expecting a light fantasy adventure. Its intense violence and apocalyptic themes made it controversial enough to spark censorship debates in multiple territories. 8. Watership Down, 1978. This British animated film shocked families who thought they were watching a cute rabbit story. Instead, they encountered graphic violence, bloodshed, and emotionally devastating scenes. Some countries imposed bans or strict age ratings because of its brutal depictions of survival and death. Parents complained that children were traumatized. Television broadcasts were delayed or edited in several regions. Its realistic portrayal of animal suffering challenged the assumption that animation equals safety. The controversy around its intensity continues to this day. 9. Belladonna of Sadness, 1973. This Japanese animated film stunned the world with erotic imagery and dark psychological themes. It was banned in multiple countries for explicit sexual content and depictions of violence. Its artistic watercolor style masked deeply disturbing subject matter involving betrayal, oppression, and demonic symbolism. Censors viewed it as morally dangerous. For years, it remained largely unseen outside Japan due to restrictions. Today, it's considered a bold artistic statement, but in the 1970s, it was simply too controversial for many audiences. 10. The Pinchcliffe Grand Prix, 1975. While beloved in Norway, this film faced censorship discussions abroad due to subtle political undertones during the Cold War era. Some distributors hesitated to release it in certain markets because of perceived ideological messaging. Though not widely banned, it encountered limited distribution and broadcasting restrictions in a few regions concerned about political symbolism embedded in children's content. 11. The Hobbit, 1977. This television adaptation faced broadcasting restrictions in conservative countries due to magical themes and intense battle scenes. Religious organizations objected to its fantasy elements. Though not universally banned, certain networks refused to air it, claiming it promoted occult ideas. The controversy highlighted cultural tensions over fantasy storytelling during that era. 12. Allegro non troppo, 1976. This Italian animated satire was restricted in multiple regions due to nudity and adult humor. Inspired by Disney's Fantasia, but darker in tone, it mixed classical music with surreal, sometimes unsettling imagery. Censorship boards in some countries demanded cuts before approval. Its social commentary and sensual visuals pushed boundaries that family audiences weren't prepared for. 13. The Thief and the Cobbler, 1970. Although officially released much later, early versions of this ambitious animated project faced censorship concerns in certain Middle Eastern territories due to cultural and religious sensitivities. Its stylized depictions and satirical tone led to distribution complications during its early development stages in the 1970s. 14. Ringing Bell, 1978. Marketed as a children's story, this Japanese film shocked audiences with extreme violence and tragic themes. Some countries refused to distribute it, fearing psychological harm to young viewers. The emotional darkness and intense revenge storyline clashed with expectations of safe animated entertainment, leading to restricted releases. 15. The Water Babies, 1978. This British animated fantasy encountered censorship debates due to racial caricatures and outdated stereotypes present in the source material. Some broadcasters edited or limited screenings because of concerns about offensive portrayals. What was once considered whimsical Victorian fantasy became controversial under modern scrutiny, leading to restrictions in certain regions. The 1970s proved that animation wasn't just child's play. It was a battlefield for cultural, political, and moral debates. These films challenged authority, questioned society, and pushed creative limits so far that some governments reacted with bans and censorship. But here's the question: were they truly dangerous or simply ahead of their time? Let us know in the comments which of these shocked you the most. And did number 3 surprise you as much as we promised? If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden Hollywood secrets, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the golden age of cinema. Thanks for watching.